So she's in this earthly paradise with these flowers. Part 2. Let's see. What did I have next? Oh yeah, she looks at the weather forecast on the TV. And then sees these fish in space and all of that. One thing that as I was watching my lecture on Paradise yesterday, I watched this free online course that I highly recommend if you are deep into the subject on Dante, from Colombia. It's called Digital Dante, and she is this amazing professor who's like a Dante scholar, and she does like a 2-hour lecture on like basically each canto, or like 2 cantos per lecture. What you really kind of need, it's very confusing. Even someone who's a Renaissance scholar and also loves epic poetry, I'm still lost. And, half the time. And also it's really helpful because she goes into a lot of the Italian, which I am interested in, and vaguely okay at Italian, but I want to get a lot better. So that's also interesting. But she keeps saying that there's like this extreme meta level to Paradise that is the whole poem's frankly pretty meta, and it's constantly like self-referencing itself, and it's like constantly looping you back throughout the entire poem, because there's even the rhyme scheme, Tetzerima, is like self-referential, and also it starts in media res, and it's a whole circle. So anyway, but Paradise itself is extremely meta, she keeps saying, and also Paradise has this sort of problem in it, in that he thinks that in order to get closest to God, like if we were completely unified with God, or like the consciousness, or what he calls the Empyrean, the prime mover in the Aristotelian scheme, this sort of first impulse of whatever is generating the universe or whatever, then we would have no difference, and there would kind of not be a need for language, which is because everything would be everything everywhere all at once. And that would also reduce the need for language, because there would be no need for language if everything was everything. We'd have no distinctions, and also there would be no need for poetry, which is a problem if you're a poet. And you like poetry. So that is something, what is the idea between what words signify versus what they are, getting into semiotics, but anyway, that was like an interesting sort of poetic problem that he keeps saying, now I'm going into this realm, I'm going into like the mind of God, quote unquote, in Paradise, and it's so beyond like the earthly conception of what anything could exist. Like, he's like making it beyond space and time, having those rules and how to apply. He's like flying all around in space. He's like, I can't even begin to describe this. Words can't even go that far. Trying to describe the ineffable and writing a poem about it. So that's part of the problem, the literary conceit of Paradise. He's going where no one has ever gone before. So that's part of why this is an interesting frame for me, because of the meta-narrative of like, oh, you thought this was a TV? It's not. It's space. And then this was also, I was thinking about this a lot. This is interesting, this water imagery to me. Both this picture of her, that keeps flashing back and forth to her in this watery, lavendery bath. And then also, there's the big wave that she dives into in the tour. That's right before Lavender Haze, right after her secret songs. So I would posit, this is my new insane theory, that my brain thought was fun to think about, was, what if this river and the other river are the 2 rivers that are at the end of purgatory? He has to go through 2 rivers. One of my, here we go. One of my weird things that I'm obsessed with is, within Greek mythology, is the underworld and the cosmology of the underworld, and there's all these rivers, and I've always just found that fascinating. That's another video. These 2, in Dante's cosmology, there's only 2, he does mention some of the other ones in Hell, but these 2 are in Purgatory, so that's what I'm talking about now. Even though she just released the picture of her on the Spotify canvas, MC said that is obviously her on the river Styx looking like Charon. Separate issue. But yes. So I don't know how to say it because frankly I've never gotten around to taking Greek, even though I've been trying to my entire life. It hasn't been offered. So I took Latin instead. So it's the Eunoe. Eunoe. And then the Lethe. And the Eunoe is this basically cleanses you of all your sins. It makes you forget all of your sins. No, wait. Lethe is the one that makes you forget everything. And then Eunoe is the one that has the memories of the good deeds in life. Like, you forget everything bad you did, and then you remember everything good you did. So I think that this one is Lethe. And then the other one is the Eunoe. I don't know how to say it. And I think that because I swear that there was I was trying to look for it, and I feel like he said that he thought there was a reference to him saying that I went into the Lethe and all of my, like, sins came out in this pearlescent, like, foam, and I don't know if I made that up, but I need to look back and see if that actually happened or if that's something my mind created, because his whole description of it is, like, pretty trippy, and he keeps, like, adding different, he kind of, like, blacks out and loses consciousness when he's dipped into the river, so you kind of have to, like, piece together what the hell happened. But I think that this could be the Eunoe, the Lethe. I'm so sorry. This could be the Lethe. And the other one could be the Eunoe. And he specifically says they submerged me up to my neck in it. So a lot of times she's like, obviously for like modesty reasons too, she's like covering up, but I thought that was interesting that she's mimicking the pose that he took in the Eunoe, the Lethe. Why can I get those mixed up? And also like lavender haze and like kind of not knowing what's going on mimics the sort of psychedelic vibe that you get without. So this was more of the meta breaking down the earthly paradise. And then the fish and the cloud, she disappears into the cloud. I wanted to say, maybe I will stop here and then start another one.